Hey guys, what's going on? I wanted to do a video. Hopefully this will turn out the first time I do it, but we will see. And I wanted to do a video basically talking about the Giant Defy Advanced for 2018. Um, Obviously, if you're following my channel at all, then you would know that I have a Giant Defy Advanced 2 from 2017. And I don't have that bike up here, but what I do have is the 2018 because I actually think that Giant took a step backwards this year for the 2018 Defy series, and I'll tell you why, and why I think that there's a better bike that Giant's putting out for the money this year that you should give a thought to if you're in the market for a new bike and you're interested in the Giant Defy line. Now don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure that the Giant Defy Advanced for this model year for 2018 is still going to be a great bike. But I feel like they may have sacrificed some of the components to give you, or to give them, a better profit on the bikes, and I'll talk about that now. So in 2017, the Giant Defy Advanced 2 that I had, or in this case I'm looking at the Advanced 3, here it's probably actually better if I pull up an Advanced 2 for a better comparison. So this bike is the exact same model that I had last year, or from last year's model, even though I bought it in April of this year. And the specs on my bike is that everything is 105. The cassette, the derailleur, the front crank is all 105, and then it's got the RS 505 shifters with the hydraulic braking. And for 2018, they've gone away from the RS 505 shifters, and they've gone to Shimano 105 shifters, and their specific Giant branded Conduct hydraulic disc brakes. Now, if you're not familiar with the Conduct hydraulic disc brakes, basically it's a hybrid disc brake. It takes the standard cable-operated hoods and shifters, and it then operates a mechanism. And they don't actually have a good picture of the thing on here, but essentially there's a contraption right at the front of the stem here that converts the cable actuation into a hydraulic actuation, and it may work really well. I don't know, but it's one of those technologies that not a lot of other companies use, and I'm kind of curious why they did it, and I have some theories on why they did it, but I'll talk about those a little bit later. So the Giant Defy Advance 2 this year, they changed out a couple of things. The first big change is this front chainring here. When you come down and look at the actual specs for the bike, the crankset is this FC R510. So the crankset is no longer a 105 crankset. In fact, I'm not sure what this would be classified as, but I do remember that on last year's Giant Contend, which was the first model year that they did the Contend, they offered this crankset, and I've got it loaded up here right now, and you'll see that they in fact still offer this crankset. So you have the FCRS 510 on both the Contend SL1 disc and on the Giant Defy Advanced 2. And funny enough, so if you look at this crankset here, let's go back and we'll go to the Defy Advanced 3. The Defy Advanced 3, it actually has a Tiagra crankset. Now, I'm not super familiar with this this crankset that they're supplementing here. I know that it's not a 105 crankset. That's what I know, and I believe that it would be considered a cheaper crankset, in fact. So I'm kind of curious what they were thinking when they swapped that out on the Advanced 2. So instead of giving you the 105 crankset like they did in 2017, they've gone away from that and gone to this RS510 crankset. Not sure exactly why, but it changes up some things as far as the quality that you're getting, what you're paying for, right? So the shifters are 105. Now this is maybe arguably an upgrade, where before on the 2017 model you had the RS505s, and the major downside to the RS505s is that they're bulky. In hand they are larger than traditional shifters, and so maybe this is actually a benefit. So they're dropping the 105 crank and they're giving you 105 shifters that are going to be more comfortable, but they're giving you a more complex and complicated mechanism for operating and actuating your brakes. The other thing that I noted was that they changed, I believe they changed the brake size. So this year the rotors are smaller. I believe that they're only 120 mil rotors instead of the 140 mil or 160 mil. Yeah, sorry, so they're 140 mil, and I want to say that they were 160 mil. Let me see if I can pull that up. 2017 Giant Defy Advanced 2. Nope, they're not going to give me the 2017 model. So I can't show you the 2017 Defy Advanced 2's brake rotors, but I'm almost positive, excuse me, that they were larger, that they were 160 mil. Don't quote me on that, but I believe so. So what are you getting this year? What is the real product, you know, big ooh ah? Well, unfortunately, the only thing that they did this year that seems to be their ooh ah factor is they went tubeless. That's the only real change this year. They put on a different rim and they made it a tubeless rim. And so the tires actually come already set up tubeless. And is that worth, you know, the sacrifice in the crankset? So you're downgrading your crankset. You're overcomplicating, in my opinion, you're overcomplicating the shifter and hydraulic brake actuation. So again, it's a conduct brake. This is a Giant brand brake. It's not a Shimano brake. It's a Giant brake that you're getting here. Are you sacrificing there? I would tend to say yeah. So in my opinion, you're getting a more complex brake and a downgraded crankset to have tubeless tires and some more comfort on the hoods. Is it that much more comfortable? I don't know. I haven't actually had any reason to complain about my hoods. But I've only ever ridden the RS505 hoods, so maybe they are a huge difference as far as the comfort goes, and I'm just missing out. So, with all that said, what do I think is a better buy? In my opinion, this year, the 2018 Giant Contend SL1 disc is a better buy. Why? Well, you're getting almost all the same bang for $500 less. I mean, this bike retails, or MSRPs, for $1,400, where the Advanced 2 is going to run you $1,950. Now, maybe it's not fair to compare the Advanced 2 to the Contend SL1, but really, if you are going apples to apples, they're the closest, because it's Shimano 105/11 speed, right? So you got 105 shifters, and you've got 105 components back here. So it seems to me that this is more of a comparable to the Advanced 2 and not the Advanced 3. You have the same brakes. Yeah, exact same brakes, exact same shifters, same complex mechanism for adjusting your brake system, because this also uses the conduct brake, giant braking mechanism. Has the exact same crank, has the same speed, gearing, everything else there. And if I'm not mistaken, it also this year comes with the same disc wheels. But let's double check that real fast. Oh, you know what? Let's just do it here. This makes it much easier. So coming down, I'm looking for the rims. Yeah, so they're both tubeless. So you're getting the same bottom bracket, the same rims. The hubs, this is a through axle hub for the advanced versus just a regular quick release. Spokes, same spokes. You've got different tire. So you've got an AC1 tubeless versus an AC2 tubeless. I mean, it's a giant tire, so you're not gonna ride it forever. What else are you getting? What are you getting for $500? You're getting a carbon frame with through axles. That's what you're getting for the additional cost. Now, sorry, I have the wrong bike up here. Let me put in the right bike. I made a mistake there because that was not fair. We need to put the advanced 3, sorry, the advanced 2 into the compare folder here. So there we go. So this is 1950 here, and this is 1400. So you got a $550 difference. So for $550, what are we getting? So we're getting the Giant Connect stem, okay, versus the Giant Connect stem. No difference there. Defuse composite post. Okay, that's the same. The saddle says it's a contact forward versus contact neutral. Big whoop. Pedals doesn't matter. Shifters, same front derailleur, same rear derailleur. They both have the same complicated conduct hydraulic disc brakes, same levers. Both are 11 by 32 speed. Everything is the same, the exact same, coming all the way down here. There's no difference here. I mean, I guess they do say here this is the RS 510 versus the R 510. I think that's just a misspelling. Bottom brackets, same. PR2 disc. Nothing's different here. You know, it is the same bike down to the last degree. The only big difference that you can see here is that the Advanced 2 has through axles, where the SL disc has just regular, quick release. They've got 2 different tires. That's it. And it's an aluminum bike. So the question is, which is a better buy? In my opinion, this year, if I was buying one of these 2 bikes, I would get the Contend SL1 disc in a heartbeat. I think the $550 that you're spending to get the carbon, it's negligible. And for me, the carbon's kind of a scary thing. Like, you're worried that your bike's gonna fall over, that when you crash that your bike's gonna snap. I mean, it kind of makes you ride less aggressive. I don't know. I can't justify the extra $550 just to have a carbon bike when I know that the aluminum that they do in this is good aluminum. It's going to be a compliant bike. It's going to feel nice. The other thing too is that this bike, the SL1 disc, it's actually more of a racy bike. It's kind of a hybrid between the TCR and the Defy. It's got the front end of a TCR with the rear end of a Defy. It's kind of a mid spot where they bring in the seat stays. They don't quite come down as far on the seat tube here, on the seat where sorry, I'm really tired right now. If you look at the time right now, it's almost 1 o'clock. Where the seat stays come in, they're much lower here on the Defy. They're not quite as high up as they are on the TCR. It's almost right in between the 2. It's like a hybrid of it. So this bike is going to be a little more racy feeling. You're going to be a little more stretched out on it. It's, in my opinion, it's probably going to feel a little bit better too for going fast on. I don't know. I figured I'd just do this video to give you guys my thoughts on the 2018 bikes, because I actually think that Giant took a step back with the Defy this year. They didn't make any leaps forward like they did last year. Last year, the 2017, they made several big improvements. I mean, they went to the hydraulic discs. They went to the through axles. Uh, that was two significant upgrades. They didn't drop the components. You had a 105 crank shifter. You had the hydraulic version of the 105 with the RS505s on there. Everything seemed to be a step up, or the same as the previous model year, where this year they took a step down to give you tubeless tires. I'm just not understanding that. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of this rant here. Looking at the 2017 versus 2018 Giant Defy, and in my opinion, for 2018, the best beginner bike or entry-level bike is going to be the Contend SL1 disc. I'm a fan of disc brakes, huge fan of disc brakes. This complicated system, maybe it's not so complicated. Maybe I'm overthinking it. It just looks complicated. If you're familiar with the Contend brake system, they call it the conduct brakes. Let me know down below. Tell me if it is as complicated as I'm thinking it is. You're taking a cable from the shifter, running it into this converter that actuates a hydraulic piston that then applies the pressure here, instead of just having all of it taken care of within the handle. And I don't know, it adds a failure point, and anytime you put something in the middle of something that seems to work okay, you add a point where it can fail. And I'm just worried that that's what they've done here, is they've made it more complicated than it needs to be. Anyway, hopefully this video wasn't too long or too rambly. If it was, I'm sorry, it's late, and I'm having fun on my new computer, and I figured I'd try and do one of these videos and see how it turned out. Anyway, guys, take care. I'll talk to you later.